YouTube family, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sonia. In this channel, we talk about everything real estate and financing. So if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for always tuning into my channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome to the family. In today's video, we will be talking about some of the expenses you will actually have to pay by the time you finish closing on the house. So sometimes people feel like we're not gonna do down payments and all that, or they'll tell you zero down payment, right? But still, we still are going to end up making or end up spending money at the end of the day to make before we get into the house. So what are some of the things you actually have expenses on? Some people might not have the first one, but some people will. So the first thing, number one, you're going to actually do down payments, right? Like I said, some people will and some people will not, depending on what kind of mortgage you're taking. So that's the first thing. And when we talk about down payment, it's just a percentage of how much the house costs, right? So it depends on what kind of loan you actually ended up taking. So if you take, let's say, conventional, of course, then you end up having to pay maybe a higher down payment than someone that just actually had an FHA. And equally depend on how much money you have in your pocket to actually pay for those things, right? There's a range. There's a range, an interest rate and a down payment range that you actually end up paying. But some people might do 5, 10, 20%, just depending on how much money you have. But however, except you're doing a VA or USDA loans, then you will still have to pay for down payment. So that is the first expense. What is the second expense you will actually have, or what are you actually going to pay for? Some things you will pay for. The second one is going to be moving expenses. When we talk about moving expenses, it's just literally what it means, right? And you're done paying for this house, closing and everything, and now you're excited to move into your new place. So some people, depending on where you choose to, some people buy houses out of state, some people buy houses in the same state. But however, you still have to move. So you might have to hire a U-Haul truck or a moving company, right? You pay for those things. You might end up having to I don't know, buy supplies, maybe boxes to actually get your things together. Maybe you want to pack maybe your utensils in a way that they don't get broken by the time you arrive in your new destination, right? So you buy such supplies. Maybe you have to pay utility bill. You can either choose to transfer if the company in which you're already having your utility with gives you that option of transferring from from your previous maybe apartment or house you were renting to your new own house, right? So you can actually transfer if, like I said, you have the option. If not, then whenever you move, you have to actually pay for those things, right? You actually have to pay for those utilities. And is it costly? I don't know, but yes, you have to get some money off your pocket. So that's the fourth thing. Did I say fourth? The third, utility deposits, right? And some of them might require an initial fee and a deposit. So the fourth you will actually end up paying is going to be homeowners association fee. And this one is equally not applicable to everyone. Some people might pay for this, some people might not. It just depends on where you buy that house, right? Some places, or let's say some areas where you buy the house, they require you to have a homeowners association, right? So if you buy a house in that area, of course, you will have to pay that fee to them. And I don't know how much it's gonna cost. But like I said, it's just an expense that you will end up spending. So whenever you are getting into buying these houses, just keep that in mind. Those are some of the things that might come up. Do make sure you ask questions, right? You do research about the area you're actually moving into before you buy a house from there. You don't want to be shocked or act like, hey, was I supposed to pay for that? Yes, you were supposed to pay for that. You are supposed to pay for that if it is a requirement in the area in which you're living or you bought that house. So the number fifth thing, and this is just part one of the video, okay? This is just part one. We're going to talk about part two of the same topic. So the number fifth thing we are going to talk about today is going to be home repairs and renovation. When we talked about appraisals, right, we talked about the fact that, hey, these inspections may actually bring up some defects in the house. But let's forget about if in case the inspection brought up something or not. Let's talk about this is done deal. You close and you paid for it and you sign the contract with the buyer, and now you're the seller, and now you're the new owner. You get into the house and the way it looks is not what you want. Maybe you have some minor repairs to do, and of course it's gonna cost you money, right? Maybe you just want it to your taste. I just want the house painted a certain way. I want to do a little bit of touch up in my bedroom, my kitchen, my patio, or something. Just doing simple renovations. But is it gonna be expensive? Yeah, it might be, because maybe you don't even know anything about what maybe painting or fixing patio or doing seeing the bedroom. You're not a professional in it, so you might have to hire somebody, or even changing your driveway, right? You might have to hire somebody to go do those things for you, and it's gonna be an expense to you. As long as you keep those things in mind and know that, hey, even when I'm done buying this house, something might equally come up. I might have to pay a little bit of extra money. So whenever you go into the process of buying a house or whenever you're closing, make sure you have extra cash somewhere, that in case of these 5 things I just mentioned, you're actually going to have money to pay for these expenses, right? So that is it for the part 1 of this video. We're going to talk about the remaining things on the next video, and do not forget to actually like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment below. And if you have something that you want us to talk about, please drop it in the comment box and we will actually get into that. Do not forget, if in case you are interested in reading my book, The Homeowners Guide, I will leave a link in the description box. And remember, this is just for educational purposes. Please do your own research. And I said this might apply to you as it might not. So just make sure you do proper research, ask questions, and maybe even like for instance, the home or ownership. You can go to the area, right, and do a lot of research, or just ask somebody that you think is familiar with the place and they will give you those answers. So until next time, stay safe. Thank you for always watching. Bye.